everybody. Today I'm bringing you these two photographs of my grandsons, my oldest grandson with his baby brother when he was just brand new home. I think he was 4 days old at this point. And it's also the tale of using some very old product, which is very exciting. So I flipped that calendar die cut sheet over for you. That is from KI Memories. It's called Snow Calendar and it's from 2010. I had purchased a bunch of these and I used to do like monthly summaries with them. I'd write in what happened. I'd put the numbers on the calendar, and then I'd write in what happened, what month it was, and then put little photographs on there, mostly things from Facebook posts and that kind of thing. So it was a Facebook summary for me, and I probably did it about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, and then got kind of tired of it and stopped. In the meantime, I grabbed some yellow paper there. That's from Bella Boulevard, Color Chaos Scallop Strands. It has a gray diagonal stripe on the back, and this was their whole, they did a whole bunch of those stripes, but they had different patterns on the B side, and I just love that bright, bold writing on it. You can tell it says smiles, and you can tell it says today, which I think is important because he's smiling because he has his baby brother. And then to help separate that off the background, I also grabbed that star paper from Studio Calico. It's from Brighton Pier and it's called Funnel Cake. So those are, they're doing a nice job of sort of separating that off. I had grabbed this, I was looking for yellow when I was thinking about what products to pull, and I grabbed this Heidi Swap chipboard sheet. It doesn't have a name. It's just called Stickers. I got it at Michael's, and it's from 2013, so there's something that's 3 years old. And then I also grabbed that Hello Word sticker from Jelly Bean Soup from Wise Words. It's called Yellow Sentiments, and that's also from 2013. So I'm using up some old product here, which I'm most excited about. And I'm sorry, I'm working towards the bottom there, and that's really, you're just getting the very bottom of that. So I'm hoping that, I didn't realize that, hoping that you're going to really be able to see that, or that I move that up. I grabbed from the L's Studio Everyday Moments Bits and Pieces, I pulled that journaling, like little journaling card, and also that paper clip there, but that paper clip is not going to end up staying. I like that the card says this is pure happiness, so that sort of worked for me. I have these very old stitches here. They're like stickers, and they are from Cloud 9. So I pulled them because they're yellow, and I was trying to figure out how to use them, but nothing was working. And later on, it will make this layout go from okay for me to I absolutely love this layout, just using those stitches, and you'll see later on when that happens. So I'm looking for other products to use in that bottom cluster there. It's just a little bit white on white for me. So I pulled the October Afternoon Daily Flash Snap Caps in All Boy, and I'll select quite a few things from there. That is, that little arrow says good stuff on it, and I'll end up using that. And I found this tab here that I really like that says snapshots on it, because those are definitely little snapshots there. So I'll use that. I found this little pinked circle that says check this out, and that really helps me make that cluster up at the top right or top left there. Draws your eye up there because the hello is, you know, kind of blending into the paper a little bit. And then I found this date label from that same All Boy Snap Caps pack, and that's just really helping pull that cluster together there so that it's not so white on white. And again, I apologize that my camera was off there. I must have hit it and didn't realize it. That happens to all of us. I'm sure you get tired of us apologizing for that, but I do apologize because I really want you to be able to see the work that I'm doing. And I can tell my camera's a little low because you shouldn't be seeing the top of my mat there. So now I'm just kind of positioning things and trying to figure out how to do that. I'm going to take, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut a little bit off the top of that little journaling spot there because it was sticking out of the top of above the other elements there, and I really wanted it to be hidden below that. So I'm kind of looking, and now I pretty much have things positioned. I'm thinking my title is going to go in the bottom there on the left of that bottom cluster. I cut off a little bit. That H on hello had a pretty long tail, and I wanted it to overlap the circle there, but I didn't want it to overlap quite as much as it was. I think I'm watching videos there. I often do that with my iPad right in front of me. So what I'm doing is now is the hello had the centers of the letters didn't get punched out, and I wanted them to be. Not everybody does, but I decided I wanted those to be punched out. So I'm just taking my tweezers and getting those centers out. And I'll just line that up right at the top, and playing a little bit here with where that is going to go, and I'm kind of gluing everything together and then getting it down. Just like the way I pulled together, let me think, KI Memories, Bella Boulevard, Studio Calico for the papers. So there's 3 different papers there. And then I'm using pieces from Jelly Bean Soup, L's Studio, and October Afternoon, and then Cloud 9. So I have 3 different papers and 4 different embellishment. Oh, and Heidi Swap, so it would be 5. So I have 5 different embellishment companies that I use. So 8 companies, 8 completely different companies on this layout. So you can combine manufacturers. You just have to really use some sort of commonality. So in this particular case, it was the yellow that really popped things for me. And I don't have a lot of yellow embellishments in my stash, so trust me, I was looking. I found a rad, a little arrow there that says rad in that Snap Caps all boy die cut there, and I'm going to put that on the corner of that photo there, and I just popped it up off of it because that helps shadow it a little bit so that you can see it against that yellow paper. The other thing about that is it's actually fairly cream based. All the October Afternoon pieces are fairly cream based, but they're not too bad, so it works with all the white of all the other papers and embellishments. The other thing I think that happened there, and the reason that that works, is because of the yellow. So you get a creaminess from the yellow as well. So now I'm just doing, I journaled on that date label just because I wasn't quite sure what I was going to say on the journaling spot, or where I was going to journal for sure. I figured it was going to be on the This Is Pure Happiness journaling spot, but if it wasn't, I would change that. So I grabbed the American Crafts thickers from Amy Tangerine in the Goodness font, and I'm going to use that for the title here. I'm going to have to MacGyver an E, because a couple of E's actually, because the title is going to be He's My Brother. So I'm going to use 2 F's and then cut a Z apart, and that causes me a little bit of consternation. Oh, and I also have to give MacGyver an S. That MacGyver term, by the way, comes from Sarah Swan. You've heard me say that before, but I love that because that's what we do. We MacGyver. You can take an 8 and turn it into an S pretty easily most of the time. And so I almost never have 8s in my numbers that go with my thickers, which is good because I don't use that many number thickers. So now that I was looking at that, and I really don't like the space between the title and the photo there. So I decided I'm going to probably use those stitches there, because I'm looking at this and the layout's okay for me. I like it, but I don't love it. And it's the space there. It feels unbalanced and all of that. But when I put the stitches down, it's going to totally change the layout for me. And I'm going to go from thinking it's okay to absolutely loving this layout. So I'm going to glue down all those letters with my Scotch quick dry adhesive. That'll take me a little bit to do this. I have to think about doing those calendar layouts. I bought the calendar die cuts in like everything that they had in colors and that kind of things to do that. And I just haven't used them in a while. I haven't used die cut papers in a while like this, so I need to go back and do this. And I liked the theme of using the calendar die cut with his brand new brother here, and that he's discovering being a big brother, and he's just a couple of days old. So, you know, these are going to be very precious pictures someday to their parents and to them when they're older. So, and no, I do not do two of any layouts. They'll just have to divide them between themselves if they want them someday. I'm scrapbooking for myself, you know, for the creative piece of this, but also to preserve their photographs, because, you know, we've all heard this. This is the most photographed generation in history, but they won't have any pictures because they're all on phones and they'll all go away. When I take photos on my phone, I almost immediately download them to my laptop and save them to the two storage places I have them, and then I also have them in like a current file of things to Scrapbook, and I often print those also fairly quickly. So here the stitches are going to go on. Again, they're from Cloud 9. They're from the Dee's Cottage collection, and they're called Self-Adhesive 3D Gel Stitches, and they're from 2007. So those are almost 10 years old, and as you can see, I haven't used many of them. I've looked at getting rid of them in more than one de-stash, and I haven't, so I need to get them used if I'm not going to get rid of them. Part of the reason I think they languished in my stash is because I used to keep them in envelopes with other stickers, and I've changed the way that storage happens, because if I don't see it, I don't think about it and I don't use it. So my most used products sit in baskets just to my left on my desk. The only thing that's a little bit different than that is my die cuts are in photo envelopes, and they're in a wicker basket on a shelf that sits right behind me. But I use die cuts on almost every layout, so I don't, if I can't see them, it's okay, because I think about them right now. You know, eventually that storage may have to change, but not right now. So I'm trying to figure out, I've got some leftovers here where I want to put them in. I decide that it does look a little bit unbalanced if I don't have that stitching to the left, so I'm putting them to the left for me, or for me to balance. All right. And that's looking pretty good to me. And now, with the addition of that stitching, this layout has gone from it's okay to I absolutely love this layout. It's different than my layouts lately, because even though it's very layered, it's on that die cut paper. I use some very old product, but it doesn't look old. Even some of those October Afternoon pieces are older. And it just, you know, it looks okay with my current style. And I discovered here that I had, I don't remember if this is where I realized I needed to put get the F's turned into the E's, but then I realized that I have two of these alphabets, and I pulled one of them is darker than the other, and so I think this is it's dark right here. I'll look at that and realize eventually, oh wait, those bottoms are really, really dark, and I'll pull them, and that's where I realized that I pulled the other Z, and I'm going to use the lighter part of the alphabet to match the alphabet I actually used, which is okay. And I couldn't find my tweezers. What I didn't realize, it was just to the right of me there, but I had a stack of stuff just to the right. I had to clean my space off a little bit at one point because it was driving me kind of crazy. The good part is now you finally get to see the actual layout. And I didn't really clean off my space. I cleaned off my mat and shoved it all to the right and left. So now I'm going to do just a little bit of journaling about how my older nephew is settling into his role as big brother. Hope this finds you all well. I have a still shot and a couple of detail shots at the end. Take care, and thanks to all my subbies especially, and thanks for watching. Bye!